It'll be used tomorrow. It'll be up there as to how not to do this. So all of you intern applicants, welcome back. Congratulations. I'm sure I said to you last October that when you're going out, you can either pick up the form or not. And it'll seem like a small act, but it can be one that will change the direction of your life. And so, good for you that you did it. We're here in a room with Dr. Norman Borlaug. I like to do that, and I'm so pleased we're able to have this in this room because he's the person who pervades this entire program. So this is the 15th year I've done this, and it used to be we just have 4 or 5 students apply. Now, I guess we have more than 60 apply, and you've made it here. So I try to think, what's the process like? And I said, well, Sochi, the Olympics, right? This is like the Olympic trials. You ever been to the Olympic trials? My family always go up to the swimming trials in Omaha because my kids were swimmers. And you see that here are the very best swimmers in America. And they're all there. And they're all doing their best, and but only some will get chosen to go. Everyone leaves disappointed, but they're still the very best on that. So we have slots available for our Olympic team, because in a very real sense, this is the premier program to be introduced and to participate and to be part of beginning a career in education, perhaps a job in agricultural related science, food, nutrition. And those subjects are, and I want to say this slowly so you absorb it, and so why you'll see that this really is the Olympic trials. Those issues now constitute the greatest challenge in human history. The greatest thing that our species has confronted is whether we can produce and distribute sustainably sufficient food to feed the 9+ billion people who will be on our planet in 2050. More than going to the moon, more than curing cancer, more than preventing nuclear war, this is the biggest and hardest thing that we've confronted. And we who are my age, or closer to my age than to your age, I'm probably the oldest guy in the room, and that we're leaving this to you to do. And who is going to be at the forefront of that will be determined by those who are on this Olympic team and some others, and who are using the science that they study and the experiences they have to shape what they're going to do to contribute and to lead this endeavor. When the state of Iowa, and I know not everybody's from Iowa, who's from Minnesota? Someone here? All right. Got you outnumbered. This is, but Dr. Borlaug loved the University of Minnesota. And when I go up to Minnesota and talk about him, I always say, you know, I'm from Iowa. We think you stole Norman Borlaug from us. Just like you stole Brett Favre from the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, so, but there's room for all of us to, in Minnesota and Iowa, to revere and love Dr. as our hero. But when Iowa was first opened for settlement, is about the same year that our planet first had 1 billion people living on it. So the mid-1830s. When Dr. Borlaug was born, there was 1.7 billion people. And when he died in 2009, it was closing in on 7. And in 2050, it'll be over 9 billion. So there's a lot to do, and there's this great challenge. So good for you that you've chosen to take this next step. And I wish that we had a space for everybody. We have a lot more, thanks to Lisa's great work in building this program. You know, the first year she and I were together, there were about 5, and then to 8, and now we're up to 22 and maybe 23. And that's, I'm looking back at her, we look and see. So we want to have as many opportunities as possible for you. But I want you to remember this and think about this. That just like if you were on the U.S. Olympic team in Sochi, and there you see everybody there, they've got their jacket on, you can tell who's who. You will carry with you the uniform of the World Food Prize and of Dr. Borlaug. Not a jacket or anything, but you'll have the name of Borlaug-Ruan intern when you're there. And everything that you do and how you act and how much you put into this and how you conduct yourself will reflect on him and on us, on his legacy. So it's a very special trust. And so I want you to bear that in mind. Secondly, I want you to look deep within inside yourself now and answer this question. Is this internship your #1 priority? If you're selected, will you go for sure? And I say that because we've had experiences in the past where, understandably, students will be applying for several different programs. They get chosen for ours, and then the other one comes through. And 6 days before it's time to take off, say, well, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this other program, and it'll pay me this, and that. And then we've lost a spot. You'll have taken an opportunity for somebody else who's interviewing who could have had that. So if we're not your #1 choice, if we're tied for first, you need to tell us that. You need to be straightforward and candid with that, because it's a shame to miss any opportunities. Now, there's a second thing that might come up. We might be your #1 choice, but, you know, it's 8 weeks, and the timing is such that after 6 weeks, band camp starts. And I need to be back, or the county fair is there, and I need to show my sheet for hogs or artwork or whatever it is. Or, you know, I'm in really this intense personal relationship, and I just don't know if I can be away from him or her for a full 8 weeks. I assure you, these are all real stories that we heard before and had to deal with. And so I bring them up, and I've learned to ask that because we have such high quality young people who come and apply, and which is a reflection on all of the parents who are here. That we've had a couple come to us and say, you know, I've thought about it, and I want to say, you know, really, this other is my first choice, so I'm going to withdraw. That's happened on at the interviews, and we thank you for that. And you earn a chit to come back and try the next year when we might be your #1 choice. So please do that. we've structured this program with generous support of donors so that we take care of just about everything. We buy you an airplane ticket. We guide you about how to get visas, but you got to do that yourself. We provide insurance. We will provide some structure by having worked with the centers where you're assigned about this. If you become ill, we have insurance to cover that. And we are tremendously, tremendously attentive to your safety and well-being. So I got 3 kids, and and they've been off to strange places. I understand parents' point of view. I was U.S. ambassador and deputy ambassador in several places, so I was responsible for everybody who worked in the embassy and every American citizen. So we are really attentive to your well-being and your safety. We've changed internships with only a few days to go. When SARS broke out in China, we moved students to a new location. On that, we're monitor all of the news. Lisa is extremely dedicated, and since a number of you will be halfway around the world, we're used to dealing at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning with anything that might come up. So I want to assure you about that. We also will provide you a stipend of some money, so that when you get there and you need something for some necessity, or what you think is a necessity, that you're not reaching into your empty pocket on that. Parents, hey, we're taking care of your kid for 8 weeks. You're free. You can travel. Kick back, whatever. I hope that you might, as a way of rewarding us for doing that, is help them buy a video camera or something to take along with them if you get selected, so they can record things about their work or so. It's not a requirement, but just a suggestion. But there are some requirements, and you need to commit to those now, and you need to understand what they are. You need to come to the orientation on May 3rd, right? And one of your parents needs to come to that, so you must do that. You have to conduct yourself in a certain way. You have to write a paper about your experience and submit it on time and in the right format. And you have to show up next October and come to the World Food Prize. And I get a few messages every now and then. It says, oh, I'm in such and such a class, and Dr. So-and-so won't let me out. And, I've got Friday class at 4 o'clock. It always makes me wonder, I never get a class at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Did these really smart kids do that? Or is there something going on they just want to stay there for? So you've got to be here, because you, who are Borlaug-Ruan interns, you will be the most inspiring figure at that event. I would say, if you got down to it and asked all of you, what is it that convinced you to be here today? I like to think it's my brilliant eloquence, my convincing, or Lisa's, but I've come to understand that someplace last year, sitting out at DuPont in Johnston, that you looked up and saw somebody who was a Borlaug-Ruan intern, who came back that sort of looks like you, let's say physically, but looks like you in the background of that, and you said to yourself, I want to be that. I want to do that. I want to be her. I want to be him. And you will be those figures. So you got to sign on the dotted line that you'll come back and to do that. So this is, it's not touring, it's not going out and seeing things. You're supposed to work. Of course, there's some opportunities, and everyone's got nice pictures of themselves in Machu Picchu or on the Great Wall, with the Bay of Bengal, or chasing after elephants and rhinos in Africa. You know, it's good. That's possible to do, and we hope that you'll have that experience. So, what have I forgotten, Lisa?
Maybe the accommodations and meals, I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
Oh, yes. So we pay for all of your lodging, all of the food that you eat. We provide. We'll pay that usually directly to the center where you are. If there's a case where you're with a family, we do that arrangement. So we will take care of that as well. So I think I've covered what I was assigned on that. I want to introduce Mishal Hussain, who's also our new Vice President of the World Food Prize, and who is also will be available as one of our executives on this. So further, we have backup, and we need to call him backup for things that Mishal is there. She's lived internationally. She's lived in Asia, in South Asia, in Africa, so knows her way around. We have other staff members here. We have several staff members who have been Borlaug-Ruan interns, who have been Wallace Carver interns. Keegan Kautsky is here in the back. Keegan's in South Africa. Crystal Harris, who's my special assistant, has been in Africa. Megan Forgrave, who's also from Minnesota, right?
I am.
Yes, so you're not alone. So we have a small staff, but everyone here is very dedicated to Dr. Borlaug. So this is his centennial. Next week, the announcement will come that we're going to unveil a statue of Dr. Borlaug in the U.S. Capitol. And so you'll be able to, whether you're a Borlaug-Ruan intern or not, you'll be able to walk into the U.S. Capitol, walk up to the statue, and say, Norm, I guess you better call him Dr. Borlaug. And say, let me tell you where I was. Let me tell you what I was doing. Because here's a man on the Nobel Peace Prize, Congressional Gold Medal, America's highest civilian honor, first given to George Washington for winning the Revolutionary War. And up on top is the Presidential Medal of Freedom. All the history of our country, only 3 Americans have those 3 awards. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Elie Wiesel, a Holocaust survivor, and that farm boy from Howard County in Northeast Iowa, who went to school in that one-room schoolhouse, K through 8, was a wrestler term is about to start, right? Was a wrestler at Cresco High School in Minnesota. So, amazing legacy, something to be forever proud of. Congratulations again on coming here, taking this step. Good luck to everybody. I'm happy to answer questions if you have any. We have some parents here and some former interns who are here, so that when I'm out of the room and Lisa's out of the room, you can ask them. Parents can ask parents, interns can ask other interns. Now tell me the truth, what's this really about? What's really going on? You can level with us, parent to parent. The buildings here, I don't know what we told people about going around the building. There's a wonderful Howard Buffett exhibit upstairs that we've opened up. Our educational exhibits are downstairs that we just opened those up. They're pretty interesting. And you know, if you got a few sessions, you can run down, get a couple of facts, and use them in your interview.